to me.
Yeah,
Stay on your own
I'm
side.
on the end. I can't do anything. I
Yeah,
can't
you
go
are.
any further.
You are on the end, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
I wasn't very happy with you the other night, was I?
No, you weren't.
I walked out on you.
No, you kicked me out. You didn't want.
Well, first I walked out, and then I kicked you out.
Yeah.
I
that's
said,
true.
get out.
Yeah.
You're being disrespectful to me.
And I went and walked to like 100 kilometers.
Let me finish. You were being disrespectful to me. And first of all, you started talking about come. And I looked at you. You don't remember that, do you?
No, I don't.
And I looked at you, and then I said, this is enough. And I walked out because that was totally inappropriate.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
I haven't watched
Well,
it
let
yet.
me remind you what the things you were saying. And this is on video, and you're talking like that
Yeah.
to a lady working on her PhD on mental wellness in the workplace, and you're going to have a chapter or two in my research.
Yeah. Alcohol does that to me.
Well, look what you're doing to me. I have never drunk, past tense, so much in how many weeks since I've met you, since you moved in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's totally inappropriate
Yeah.
because you've been in detox once already,
Yeah.
and that didn't work out for you because you weren't behaving. And now I'm taking you to detox again on Saturday.
Deal. Can't wait.
5 more days detox.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I even called Henwood this week. I was so concerned about you because you were out there and it was cold.
It was cold. It
And I
was
didn't
like
sleep for 2 days.
-8. I just had to keep walking, so I walked all the way to Edmonton from Spruce Grove, and then I walked around Edmonton all day, and then I walked back to Edmonton that night. Or to Spruce Grove.
But Whitten, you're proud of that.
I am. That was like 100 kilometers I walked.
Yeah, and you've got holes in your shoes. And,
Yeah, they're worn the fuck out.
and then I didn't sleep for 2 days because I'm worried about you. But first I was mad for 24 hours when I saw your David Bowie. I love that man. One of the best concerts I've ever been to. You weren't even born then. And I gave you that shirt. And it was hanging there because you had a stain on it.
Well,
So
yeah,
the
beef
mother in me, I started cleaning, but when you left, I was so angry. I could have burnt that shirt. I really felt like burning it. And I like that shirt.
It's a great shirt.
I gave it to you.
It's a beautiful shirt.
And the
Holy-
jacket I gave you too.
Yeah, I had to take the jacket out of respect, so I wore hoodies.
You didn't wear the jacket that day. No, you
No.
didn't take it out.
No.
Yeah, that
You
jacket.
just gave it to me the day before, and then you kicked me out. I felt weird taking the jacket, so I left the jacket.
Well, and I was glad you didn't take the jacket because that's like a $400 jacket from G-Star I got for my son how many years ago. And because he's 6'5", it was up to his waist.
Mm.
So, and I said, fine, I'll take it. I think I've worn it twice. So it was only, what do I want to say, the word? It was meant to be your jacket.
Mm.
Because
Yes.
you know how many jackets
I don't believe in
have.
coincidences. My life is far too strange to believe in coincidence.
But you know how many coats and stuff I have. But
Oh,
that's
yeah, you got
over
closets.
But that's, like I said, I have how many pairs of
My
jeans?
closet is full of your coats. I have to use a bookshelf for my clothing.
I filled how many closets in this place.
Which is fine because I really don't have that many clothes, but
But when Neil and I built that house, customized house how many years ago, and it was a walk-in closet, and I designed the closet, and all my clothes were in there, and my shoes, and Neil had about this much. So that's what I need.
that's fair.
Yeah, that's why I
It's like
can't.
my parents' closet. It was like my mom's was like 6 feet long, and then my dad's closet was right beside it, and it was like 2 feet long, or if that.
Hey, that was cool. I met your mom and your family, and I didn't get into the shopping with your mom, but we could do some damage together.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, she's got a shopping problem, and so do you.
I do not.
Sure. Okay.
I'm a very smart shopper. For instance, these pajamas are from Joe Fresh.
Yeah.
And Joe Fresh Superstore, just give me a call for endorsements here. Again, Joe Fresh. And there's little deer and moose. Is that a moose?
That's a caribou or a reindeer.
Oh, okay. And then, yeah.
Or a deer.
And then, of course, there's my
It's probably a deer.
favorite band that I lost my virginity to.
No shit.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin.
Like on the radio or like on a vinyl?
No, when I was
in
16,
concert?
but my serious boyfriend, well,
What
what
was
do you
it?
do in a small town, right?
8-track.
It was an 8-track.
Ah,
I think so.
nailed it.
I forgot about that.
8-tracks were dope.
Yeah.
We had a van when I was a kid that had 8-tracks.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you have it or your dad?
My dad, obviously.
Oh, that's-
I'm not that old.
Well, No, but you were talking about the vans when I showed you the picture of the van we used to
yeah,
have.
we had a cool.
And you were like, "Oh, I like that van," and we did too.
I want a van. I want a van.
Well,
I want
I
to live in a van. That's my goal. Live in a van.
well, the first van the first van we had was $1,200 when I was in university, and Neil built this big bed in the back because he's 6'2", and it was awesome. So we started camping in that after tenting in the mountains, and I'll never forget the first time Neil and I went camping in the tent. I think it was in Jasper. So I'm in the tent, and I'm from Manitoba. You tent all the time, right? Yeah, there's bears, but... So anyways, he comes into the tent. Did I tell you this story? With an axe.
No.
And I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really know this man. And what's with the axe?
Yeah, that's a red flag.
It's a red flag. And I was kind
That's
of
how
like...
a lot of movies start.
Well, in bear country here, I mean, we've had a father, his son was in the tent. The dad went and opened the tent, and his child was torn to 100 pieces.
Oof.
Like, you don't, come on. So anyways, Neil said to me, he said, well, the bears, Janelle, the bears. And I'm kind of, oh, okay. So he's Albertan, terrified of bears here. And we just had that mama bear got hit across over in Banff. And then the 2 little babies got killed.
Oh shit. Yeah, I know, that's the bummer of it.
Something's wrong there, though.
Yeah,
What's the
bullshit.
matter? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Because these bears are tracked.
Yeah.
Someone really messed up. And just to read that, you're crying because these 2 little cubs looking for their mom. I can't even talk about it.
I had 2 bears fuck with my tent while I was homeless.
How big were they?
I don't know. Well, not that big.
Were they grizzlies?
No,
were
no, they were
they
brown
like
bears.
there's how many?
They were brown bears.
See, in Manitoba, we had little black bears.
They were like as tall as my tent. And the first one was like, I was
Like, how tall was your tent? This big?
I don't know, average tent size, like as tall as
Well,
me.
be specific.
Well, as tall as me, like.
Oh, that's the bear was that big.
Yeah.
That's a big. That's a big
Yeah,
bear.
it's not a small bear, but not a huge bear either. There's bigger bears out there. But the first one, I think it was the first one, just was.
Cheers.
I was sitting in there with
Just
all.
a minute. Let me finish this. I just bought this today because we're getting snowfall, and I like to be festive at Christmas. And we've drunk how much?
She's almost done.
I can't believe this. I haven't
We're gonna kill it tonight.
done
Let's
this
kill it tonight.
since the 80s, back in the days when we were getting dressed up and going to Penticton
Can
and
I
going.
say, I'm a fun guy.
No, you aren't.
I'm a mushroom.
No, you're an addict.
I'm a fun guy. Don't even know what to say to that, dude. Anyways, back to the bears. The first one, I was sitting there with all my food
Just
in
a
my
minute.
Oh my
I have
God.
just a minute here. I have my Led Zeppelin
That is
shirt on,
incredibly
and
off topic.
only do I have my Maui Jims on.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
I don't even know what Maui Jim is.
You're talking about Maui Jim are because I'm blue-eyed and have Meniere's disease, which is not manure farm. It's Meniere's. It's a French word.
Manure.
Meniere's.
Sounds
And
like
it-
shit.
Well, it does. That's why I always say it's not manure, like on the farm. And then city people don't know what I'm talking about. It's a joke. But anyone that's been on a farm, and then they're like, but if I don't wear them, I'm sensitive to lights, sounds, certain voices like yours, certain tones.
I have that feeling too, yeah.
And then I get vertigo. So I stumble around, and that's why I have canes all over, because I just have no problem. Back to the bears.
The first one, I was sitting there with all my food and I just hear sniffing all around my tent. And
Where was this?
I was on a beach on Vancouver Island called Sombrio. I lived there for like 3 weeks.
But they wouldn't have had big bears on the island.
Like I said, brown bears, like as big as a brown bear gets.
Well, our oldest son was, what, 2 years?
Like there's no grizzlies, but there's
Because there's
brown bears.
grizzly.
And there's brown bears and black bears.
Our youngest son saw his first grizzly when we camp in Jasper. We camp in a provincial, well, it's a very small, called Snaring Lake. And then there's a road and there's an overflow. And our little boy, Ryan, saw his first grizzly there. And Neil said, look. And we were on the bridge. And that's why we called our first puppy Grizzy, based on the grizzly he saw. Yeah, okay, go on. I can't believe the bear was that big on the island. How could they get on the island? They can't.
Generations of
Take-
bear living.
Take the ferry.
They swim. They're
take
actually
the
really
ferry
good. They're
over?
actually really good swimmers, actually.
Come on.
No, they've been there for like. How did people get on there before boats? How did fucking deer get on there? How did fucking squirrels get on there?
I don't know.
Exactly.
When we traveled across,
Exactly. What about wolves? There's wolves on the island too. How did wolves get on there?
but I'll tell you,
Or
you know,
cougars, for that matter.
well, there's cougars.
Yeah, there's cougars.
Lots of cougar
Yeah,
stories.
you'll find them in all the bars. Anyways, the bear was sniffing my
You know, I
tent,
didn't
and
even
I'm
know
just
what a cougar was when my boys were little. And one of the fathers, I said, what are you talking about? And his name was Will. Their two boys were good friends with our oldest and young. And he looked at me. He looked at me, he said, Janelle, you don't know what a cougar is? I said, I don't understand what you're talking about. So he had to explain it to me. Okay, back to the bears. I still question a bear that big on the island, because when we came across,
says the prairie girl.
we traveled across Canada, came back through the States, and you know Yellowstone National Park?
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. And we're in this van, and I was pregnant with Ryan, and everything's big in the U.S. Our brothers and sisters next door, everything's big. Well, we're driving through there, and Neil and I are looking at the deer and the bears, and we're thinking, really? Okay, go on. No, I have one more thing to say. So we're driving through Yellowstone National Park, and there's big buffalo, and there's big buffalo. What do you call bison? The male.
I don't know. I'm from the island.
And then here's the Japanese.
We don't have bison on
The Japanese Chinese footage crew out there taking pictures. And we're like, is this for real? So here's this big park ranger with this cool hat. Looks like Smokey and the Bear, you know, Smokey's hat. And he's walking slowly. And Neil and I are both like, they're going to be charmed. They're going to be killed. And they had all their technical, and that ranger very slowly walked up and told them, you need to go now or you're going to be charged. We couldn't believe it. Okay, back to your bear story. My stories are much more exciting than yours.
It's very true. I was just sitting there reading my book with all my food in my tent, and then I heard the
Number
sniffing.
one, you don't put food in your tent. Hello.
Well, no, it was the middle of the day, so I took the food out
You
of the
still
out of,
don't-
out of the food cache and I brought it to my tent so I could eat.
You eat in your vehicle.
I don't have a vehicle. I'm homeless.
Well, then you go to the washroom and eat.
No, you know how bad it smells.
Lord.
It's a fucking porta potty. It's disgusting. Anyways,
But it's still a porta potty, and you could go in there and eat and be safe.
I don't
Okay,
care. I would
continue.
rather die than eat in there. It literally,
Okay.
the whole inside's a swarm of flies. I lived. Moral of the story.
I'll tell you a story about one of my girlfriends.
No,
what
I'm
they did.
finishing my bear story because I'm sick of trying to tell it. Fucking Kelly.
Do I have to get another carrot?
No. No more
I
carrot.
think I'll get my bat out.
No more
You
carrot.
know I'm a baseball player.
Yeah.
Shall I get a bat? Because I can bat you around. After the other day, I feel like batting you around. Okay, finish your story.
Anyways,
It's all about you
I was reading my book, smelled sniffing around the tent.
reading a book.
Yeah, and then I got out and someone's like, hey, be careful, there's a bear around. And I was like, oh, that's probably what it was right at my tent. And they're like, yeah, probably. And then the second time I was sleeping, and this was in Nanaimo.
Oh, you didn't have food in the tent, did
No,
you?
no food in the tent.
You
I
know
was
you
just,
tie it up in the tree, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're
when
supposed
when
to
you're
do.
homeless in the middle of Nanaimo, that's your biggest
In fact,
worry.
you should have climbed the,
No.
the bloody tree,
I didn't have-
and you should have ate your dinner up there and read your book.
Thank you. I didn't have any food in Nanaimo when I was
How
sleeping.
old were you? 13? Is that when you left home? You're camping? 13?
No, this was like last year or 2 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, before I walked across Canada, right before. And a bear collapsed
Can you believe it?
half my tent in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. I'll wake up and I'm like, what, did that actually happen or did I dream that? And then it collapsed half my tent again. I'm like,
You were
can
probably so stoned you didn't know what was going on.
you... No.
You were hallucinating and there's bears.
Yeah, and a hole just manifested in the roof of my tent out of nowhere. Anyways, I'm done. Go on.
I have to tell you about one of my very close friends.
Mm.
Guess what she did? And this was back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
She's camping in Jasper in a tent. They had all their food in their tent. I couldn't believe
Well, that's
it.
just dumb.
I couldn't believe it. Well, guess what? A bear came right in. They literally had to cut the tent out at the back and run in their car. She's never camped since then.
That's
But
fair.
that's just, I looked at her and I said,
don't
are
sleep
you
with
not
food.
aware you put the food up in a tree? And then other things, like they can smell a woman's cycle,
Yeah.
right?
So Grizzly Man died.
Which grizzly man?
This like crazy dude. He kept going up and living with grizzly bears like every summer or something like that, and he would just hang
Well,
out
he's
with them.
not having a cycle. What the
No,
heck are
can
you
you let
talking
me finish
about?
the fucking story? It might make sense if you let me finish. Anyways, this guy goes up there every year
Here,
to go
what
hang
are we
out.
going to use for it?
Shut up.
We'll use,
You
we're going to use one of these.
drive me to drink.
You drive me. I'm buying all the alcohol
Yeah,
because you can't afford it.
that's right. I'm broke.
I'm running a tab.
Yeah,
Okay,
chalk it up.
why not just keep?
Anyways, the grizzly man went up every year, and then one year he brings a girl. He finds this girlfriend, he brings her up, and they both get their heads ripped off by grizzly bears.
And
It's a great documentary.
I'll have to watch it because right now I'm not sure if I believe you.
They can smell the
Because-
menstruation.
Because you don't know if you've been hallucinating or you've been on mushrooms.
On a
or
phone? What are you talking
Oh.
about?
all the drugs you take.
Yeah, I'm hallucinating right now.
I
You
don't
have
do,
no idea.
I
what
don't
you're-
do
Yeah, I know.
drugs.
That's why you have no idea what you're talking about.
But I know from people's reactions, right? Like if you're a stoner, I mean, I taught for how many years, right? It was pretty evident the stoners, you know, or the partiers,
Mhm.
and that's okay. That's their life. But
Yeah.
I remember one fella came into an exam late. Nice kid, whatever. He just reeked of alcohol. So he left the exam. He was still half cut. So I went out And I just looked at him and I said, I know what you've been doing. And I don't know what I said. I know what you've been doing. I hope you're okay or whatever. Because then you worry about them, right?
Mhm.
So, anyways. Now, what were you talking about? It was more interesting. Are we finished with the bear stories?
We're done. I'm done with it.
That
It's
wasn't
over.
that wasn't on my script here.
I'm over it. No,
Huh?
I don't like to go off your script. I don't have a script. You tell your script and I just say what comes to my mind.
Well, I got to talk about this though, because I'm an angel.
Yes, you are. A
I
fallen angel.
I'm falling because I'm with you. Ever since I am an angel, but ever since I met you, I have been falling very hard and drinking more and just not being appropriate.
Mhm.
But anyways, this I collect points from Superstore, and every year I treat myself because Superstore I get all my points. Again, give me a call for endorsements. Anyways, the lady helped me with this one, Angel, and it's really cool because it's what's I gonna say? It's what's the word? Sustainable. I can when it's empty, I can get it refilled. Now isn't that brilliant? Chanel doesn't do that. So because you stink so much,
Stop it. That's enough. Whew. You know,
So-
it kind of smells like a female jupe.
A what?
Or youp. I don't know. It's
What's-
J-O-O-P. It's a,
tell me what it is. Educate me.
I don't know. It's a cologne. That's called jupe. That's it.
So, anyways, I'll keep talking here. The reason the ladies, I've known them for years, so I said, can you load me up on some men's colognes? I said, I've got some unsheltered gentlemen who would sure appreciate that. So they loaded me up. So needless to say, you have Boss and a sample of Calvin Klein, but the Boss was more like this, stronger, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I enjoy
Yeah, and
it.
maybe you should put a little bit on your feet and stuff.
My feet smell lovely.
No, they stink. No, actually, I can't smell them because I have a crooked
They
nose.
stunk
right?
yesterday, let me tell you.
Did they?
Oh yeah,
Well-
I walked for like 36 hours.
Well, did you soak them? Did you have Epsom
Oh,
bath when you
yeah,
came?
I had a bath, I had 2 showers and stuff. I needed it.
I should take you in for a pedicure.
Yeah, I need
I've decided if I want to spend the money on you.
it.
I don't know if you're worth it.
Baby, I'm worth it.
I don't know if Beyonce would agree with you. With your behavior lately. Look at Snow, and he's got his 2 little dogs out there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
like
We need to talk about what happened in British Columbia on the island.
I don't know, what do they call it? Like a boom
Bomb?
cyclone?
No,
or?
a bomb site. I just want to be correct. It's a bomb cyclone, which is pretty scary for Vancouver Island. That's where you're from, right?
Totally.
It's obvious he's from the island. And I just wrote down a few things. There were 10,000, I don't know, I can't read that. 10,000 out of
Oh,
power.
power outages.
What else did I put here? Okay.
It's funny though, because God told me if you have the inclination to travel, do it because there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And apparently God wanted me off the island because it's going to shit.
Yeah, but the problem is
Hurricanes are coming.
you've got a son there, an 8-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. So you want to get your whole family, like
Well.
your sisters. Okay.
Everybody thought Noah was crazy till it started to rain. I tried to tell everybody.
My father talked about
Nope.
the island
But that was like
being
4 years
swallowed
ago.
up in the 70s.
I had a vision. I had a vision when I was high on acid on top of a mountain, and I saw the water levels like almost
Saw
up to
the
the top.
water
of the mountain.
levels.
Yeah, Spirit gave me a
Oh,
sign.
the spirit was in there too.
Yeah,
Was she there too?
Spirit.
But
is
look
cool.
it was called a bomb cyclone, And apparently it's I read about it, but I forget. It's the hot and cold.
That's what causes
then-
the cyclone, but the bomb part is the pressure dropping drastically.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And you didn't even read about it, did you?
I
So the ferries have been canceled. Everything.
oh, I don't doubt it.
Like that's creepy. And
Doesn't take
children.
much to cancel the ferries.
Well, doesn't it take a little bit? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Well, we've always been blessed with fair weather on the island generally.
Yeah, but remember when I went cycling a couple weeks ago, and it was 14 degrees.
Because it's like in between the mainland,
Creepy.
the ferries in between like the island and the mainland, so there's not a whole lot of drastic weather that goes on there.
I love the ferry. I go right to the top every time when I was with the doc, and he'd be down, he'd be working, but he had a house in Victoria and then got one in Comox. I would just sit like that. I'd find a place, I'd have my backpack, and I loved it because I'm a prairie girl,
Yeah.
right?
No doubt.
And prairie people love oceans.
Yeah. When you live on the island, it's kind of a pain in the ass because you're stuck on a ferry for 2 hours and the food's expensive and you can't.
Well, the island's
you
expensive.
can't smoke anymore on the ferry. Which
Oh, well, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? I don't have a problem with them not smoking on the ferry.
I heard you.
Yeah, but I'm usually on top. But I'm like this the whole time. I was just amazed. My one doctor had he had a house. What is it? Gabriel Island?
Gabriella.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you he sold that about 2 years ago, and I was like, "What are you selling?" Yeah, I'm interested, and because he's a psychiatrist, so he would go there regularly, and then his kids, the kids aren't going. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
But could have got that for a good deal. But if it's the whole island's going to be swallowed up here,
Gabriella will definitely be gone because it's a lot closer to sea level than Vancouver Island is.
and knowing Dr. Rosie, he did his research. What about Salt Springs?
Salt Spring will be gone.
I mean,
too.
there's
if
how
the
many-
island's gone, Salt Spring's completely gone.
Because
'Cause
how
the
many
island is-
celebrities live there?
Lots.
Lots, tons.
But Vancouver Island
Wow.
is pretty much mountains.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And all the other islands around it are just islands, they're not mountains.
But what are the islands across
Like
from?
Newcastle and
Is it because we went to quite a few of the islands, and then we had the doc and I had cycled to, I believe it was Powell River. That was cool. That was a little ferry in Powell River. Am I right? Is it Powell River?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Powell River, yeah. Yeah, I went there once, it was nice.
You went there once and you lived there your whole life.
Yeah, there's nothing to do on Powell I already live on an island. Why would I go to another more boring island?
So you could say that I bet I've
I
traveled.
did, I went there once, that's all you need to do.
I bet I've
One
traveled
done.
the entire island more than you have, because I had, compared to the
Maybe.
doc, he hadn't even been to help me.
Statistically, no, but
No, where the storms are, where Goldie Hawn and Tofino.
yeah.
Yeah, he hadn't even been to Tofino. He didn't even go to the, what do you
Long
call
drive.
it? The Grove.
Cathedral Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's infamous in Canada. That's one of the wonders of Canada. So I made sure he saw those things.
Mhm.
Yeah. He had cycled to Salt Springs, but I had mentioned we got lost there, right? And then we found out from people from Comox that it was getting creepy. We got lost and we were in this cow pasture and it was getting dark. There's no signs.
Mhm.
So then we found out later from his friends in Comox that they don't like visitors there. There is no signage there because they don't want visitors there in Salt Spring.
Mhm.
So we never went back again. That was creepy though. We're out in this cow pasture and we have no idea. We didn't have phones then. So where's your favorite place? You're from Nanaimo. Where's your favorite place?
The Wanda Fuka.
Where's that? By Port Hardy?
No, by Victoria.
Okay. Because we love Victoria. When we took the boys there.
It's like a stretch of lovely beaches. There's like a trail. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I've been there.
I
I've
can't
been there.
remember what the
How do you
trail's
spell
called.
it? We went to so many places.
I don't know. Wanda Fuka. There's like a W in there or something. I don't know.
Okay. Because we went to Thetis Lake. And I tell you, Dane and I, my middle son, we were basically, you could hike around. There were cliffs. And you know, all my boys are good swimmers since they were 3, because I grew up by a lake. So they were all, not a word of a lie, they were all swimming by 3. And Dane and I were literally jumping off the cliff and swimming to the other side. Our boys were just in La La Land.
Oh, Thetis.
Yeah. It's a child's paradise, and you know,
Oh, the rivers alone.
you know, it'll
There's
be
so
really
many river
sad.
spots.
It will be really sad, Blaze, if it is swallowed up.
Yeah,
Because then we went to Souk.
because there's nothing like it.
You've been to Souk, right?
You go surfing and skiing in one day if you wanted to on the island.
Well, that's the thing about Comox. We could be, well, as the doc said he always loved New Zealand, because in Comox, you could be skiing on Mount Washington and swimming in the ocean the same day.
Mhm.
Just incredible.
If you wanted to.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's a lot of driving and a pain in the ass, but you can do
No,
it.
it's not a lot of driving.
It's a
You
lot.
don't have a clue.
It's a lot of driving.
Jeez. What would you know about driving?
Uh,
It's an hour
driving.
from Nanaimo to get to Comox. That's a lot of driving.
Hour
Give
and-
me a break.
hour and a half. And to get to Tofino,
Well,
which is where you can go surfing.
we do it in an hour.
It takes 3 hours or 4 hours
That
to get
is
to
a lot.
Tofino.
Now, have you been to Banfield fishing?
No.
Bet you not been there.
Probably not.
And you know, I've been there, and they fly people in from all over the world to fish. And my friend at the time, his brother had this big honkin' fishing boat. So we drove to Banfield, and then they took their big fancy boat and met us there.
Yeah, I don't need to. I lived in Nanaimo at the Harbor City. If we wanted to go fishing, we'd just drive 10 minutes and go fishing. We're not going to drive hours to go fishing.
When people from
I did
all
once though.
over the world fly into Banfield and fish there. And then they have this I was really interested because they have this aquamarine college university there. So I wanted to go to the museum, but they weren't into that, so whatever. But it was kind of creepy though, because at night there was a bar there, which we didn't go to, but they had pictures of women and men missing. That was
There's
creepy.
a lot of people
That-
missing on the island,
that
especially
was
on the
creepy.
what do they call it, the I don't know, Death Highway or something like that, where all the indigenous women go missing.
Well, that's in BC, and I want to deal with that, and
Yeah,
I want
so-
signs to go up and phones
It's a
and.
lot
we
of
gotta
missing
work
people
on
on
that.
the island, and they don't talk about it. We don't hear about it.
Well, they do BC, and in Winnipeg we've got how many, right? So I don't even want to go there today. It's just too
Or
depressing.
Highway of Tears, I think they call it.
Yes,
Something
yes.
like that. That's what it is.
And I'm like, come on, let's get signs up, let's
Well,
get
it's 'cause
phones.
it's a huge stretch. Actually, that's my favorite area though, because
Is it?
Yeah, that's where all the. It's still wild.
Remind me, is that up?
That's
to
that's like
Prince
on the way.
George?
No, that's like on the way to Souk and.
No. There's another Tirza Highway up BC going north BC.
I'm
You
not
got
talking
it.
about that.
Okay.
See, I'm talking about the highway.
But
of
it's
Tears.
the Highway of Tears,
No,
officially.
it's on the island, and it's
Okay.
by
I didn't know there was-
Honeymoon Bay and Souk, between Honeymoon Bay and Souk.
I did not know about that
And
one.
there's no cellular service. It's a dead zone, and a lot of people go missing.
I did not know that. I've learned something intelligent
There's a
from
lot,
you
and
today.
there's a lot of reservations in between too. So any woman that's seen traveling by herself, walking, usually ends up going missing.
See, that breaks my heart. Because I mainly I'm from Manitoba, and I'm told by the RCMP, a month ago, that Manitoba is the highest percentage of First Nations, but back in the 70s it was actually Regina, but now it's back to Winnipeg. I just don't want to talk about that today. It's just too sad. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Keep talking. If you get a word in. Oh, yeah.
I don't dare.
Yeah, I was just watching Schitt's Creek there. And, Canadian. Schitt's Creek with
Eugene
my
Levy.
man, Eugene Levy, and his wonderful, gorgeous son. They're definitely related.
I didn't realize it for the longest time until someone told me, but then I saw it once I was told.
Oh, they're so funny. Have you ever watched it?
No.
Oh, you got to watch it. Half of the Americans love it. And it's purely Canadian. But I got to tell you that Eugene Levy, oh, I'm in love with him.
Yeah, he's a genius.
They are genius, and his son is, like, the whole family's talented. But I get lost in Eugene's eyebrows.
The caterpillars.
Oh, I don't care. I could just go in and brush them and fix them up. And yeah, and his son looks just like him.
Yeah, I didn't see it until someone told me that they were related, and then you could definitely see it.
And then Catherine O'Hara. I mean, I want to be like her when I grow up. She's just brilliant, isn't she?
I can't put a face to the name.
Well, if you'd watch, I can't believe you haven't watched Schitt's Creek.
I don't watch televised sitcoms. If it's on TV, generally it sucks. If it's on cable.
You know what it reminds me of? And you wouldn't know this. But
And I don't pay for cable. Even before I was homeless, I didn't pay for cable.
Or you don't pay for anything. You pirate everything.
That's right.
And my husband's kind of like, well, you better watch. You might get
I'm a
charged.
cyber pirate.
And I said, he seems to know everything. But back to Catherine.
Well, it's not illegal to
You know
download. It's only
Catherine-
illegal to share.
You know Catherine
Or
O'Hara.
seed.
She was in Home Alone. She's the
Oh,
mother.
yeah, I do. Okay, yeah.
And I think she was in how many other movies,
Yeah.
right? But in Schitt's
Yeah, she's
Creek,
great. She's
they
great.
they play this. It reminds me of Green
Such a
Acres
bitch,
show.
though. Like I hated her because she's such a bitch. But
Well, in this show,
but if an actress or an actor can make me hate them, I know they're
good.
I know they're good.
They're good. But in this show, it reminds me of this show that was on many years ago called Green Acres. And it was this farmer, and they were from the city, and he wore a suit, and he'd be driving his tractor. And then his wife was Zaza Gabor, and she's just like this movie star. It was hilarious. So it's kind of along that line,
Mm-hmm.
but you would know that show because it was many years. But that's what it reminds me of. But Catherine O'Hara is 70 years old.
She looks it. No offense.
Oh no, no, she's bang on. And in that show, because they're
I saw her do
she does not look it.
She did a video.
She's gorgeous.
She did a video of her mimicking herself or replaying herself as the mom in Home Alone, and the comparison of the two,
She's gorgeous.
aged. But I don't know. I'm basing that off one video.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Generally, never.
I mean, she's gorgeous, and she's Canadian.
Did not know that.
She's Canadian. So is Lauren Michael. You didn't know he was Canadian of Saturday Night Live. And we watched that Saturday Night Live kind of spoof, right?
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd is Canadian.
Mockumentary.
Yeah. Because I couldn't figure out, is this for
Saturday Night?
is this for real or what? With Belushi, right?
Definitely didn't pirate it.
I was having a head shake because I thought, is that Belushi? I knew it wasn't Dan Aykroyd, and then Chevy Chase, and I knew.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny.
Blows my mind Chevy Chase did blow. He just doesn't look like the blow type.
They all were blowing.
Of course. Just
And how many committed suicide too? from that show. How many overdosed? We talked about that.
Comedians are cursed. They
Why is that?
know too much.
It's sad. Like Robin Williams.
See the world.
and-
We see the world way too hard as it is.
Is that what you think?
Yeah,
Too much pressure on themselves to be funny, right?
that too.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
It's a whole barrel of problems.
But you know I love Saturday Night Live. I got you. And they're just bang on right now. Lauren, it's like, oh, Canada. We got some great actors here and actresses. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Okay. We talked about eyebrows. Yeah, the 58th CMA Awards are on tonight with, I like Lainey Wilson. Do you know who she is?
Nope.
She's the bell-bottom girl. And she's in the show Yellowstone, which you don't know, but you've heard me talk about.
Lainey, was she?
She wears bell-bottoms. I love her.
Was she?
Hat. And she's in Yellowstone. And you know who I love in Yellowstone?
Is she the one that was
You know who I love.
the barrel? One of the barrel chasers, or
Well-
whatever we call them?
It's not even on the new one yet, is it?
Yeah, I just watched it last night.
Oh, okay. Well, how come you didn't? Where was I?
Sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, because she's awesome. She's pretty cool. I really like her. But you know who I really like on Yellowstone?
Rip. The crowd favorite.
Oh, gosh.
Except he's a ginger, in case y'all didn't know that.
No, he's not.
Yes,
I've been
he is.
watching
He's
every
a
movie he's
ginger.
in, and he's not a ginger.
He's a fucking ginger. Are you blind?
No, he's not a ginger.
He's a ginger.
He's dark and handsome.
He's a ginger.
With blue eyes. Married to a wonderful wife. Hey, he lived with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, don't you know?
I don't know it.
I didn't know that. But I'm in love with him. I've been watching every movie he's in. And he's got a beautiful wife. Yeah, there's no chance for me. And I think he has 3 children. Don't quote me. But, yeah. He's a hottie toddy. And I call my middle son my Rip because he's tall, dark. He doesn't have blue eyes, but he has brown eyes. Okay, what else? So CMA Awards are on tonight. Talked about Rip. What are you doing? Because the next topic is serious. Oh, I was going to talk about Martin Short is Canadian. And the rumor has it that Martin Short, he's in that show with, help me.
Murderers.
Yeah, some murder show. With, love him. Why can't I not remember his name? Steve Martin. So the rumor is that Martin Short is dating Meryl Streep. And I got to tell you, when I was having my 3rd baby, I was in with the gynecologist. You're not going out there. Don't even think about it. Come back here.
Find my letter.
So I'm in for my examination, pregnant with my 3rd child. And the sweet gynecologist says to me, you remind me of Meryl Streep. Streep. Oh, she's incredible. And it just, you know how things just come out of me sometimes? You know how it happens.
Yeah.
And I said to him, well, which half? The top half or the bottom half? And he just looked at me. He didn't know what to say. Just kidding. No disrespect, but she's incredible. And I hope she is with Martin Short because he's Canadian and he's fantastic and all that stuff. So, okay. Now, I want it to get serious here because I'm the teacher. And you had made a comment the other day to me that because I said the N-word, that it would be taken off.
Probably.
And I don't quite understand that because I'm an educator. I'm a human rights activist, advocate, teacher, post-secondary teacher. These are things I would discuss in the class. So now you're telling me because I mentioned it the other day. As an educator teacher, I don't get it. Help me with that one.
I can't.
I don't get it.
It's illogical.
But yet I'd be talking about it in my class.
It's just a word.
Exactly. And like I said,
Words only have the power you give them.
we're all conditioned, and you made a good comment. You made a good point the other day. I said, remember I said, the culture, society has conditioned us not to say the N-word. Like I said, people are losing their jobs. But yet, what happens to some of the other teams we were talking about? The Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
What were the other ones we talked about?
Eskimos had to change to the Elks.
Yeah, the Edmonton Eskimos. We had to change it to the Elks. Neil and I lived in the Northwest Territories for 2 years. And one family we were best friends with, Alex, my father's name, was Métis from Saskatchewan. And he married a sweet, sweet Trina, who would have been considered Eskimo. And her mother was just this, ooh. My sister had a little Eskimo doll when we were young. I still remember this cute little Eskimo doll. So now we have to, in Alberta, change the name to the Edmonton Elks. Come on.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
Help me on that one.
It's a little ridiculous.
And you made a really good comment. You were so funny. Let me see what I put down here. You said, well, what about the Predators? Well, we know next door, the new leader over there has quite a few Predators. So I asked you, where do you go with that? You said, well, what about the Predators? I'm like, that's a good one. What's that all about? That was so funny you said that. You are occasionally funny. Anyways,
I have my moments.
I'm just saying, I'm a teacher, but all of a sudden I can't say the N word. And you said, well, it'll be cut. It'll be cut.
It's not all of a sudden.
Well,
it wasn't nothing all
well,
of a
it
sudden.
is for me. I would never, I say the word because I would say it in the classroom when we're talking about human rights.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not supposed to talk about the Indians, and we're not supposed to talk about Aunt Jemima. Anyways, help me here. Help me out on that one.
It's just insanity.
Well, it ticks me off because I worked very hard to get my education. And, I don't like to be told I can't do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you're, it's going to be cut. And I'm looking at you. What for? I'm a teacher. I'm working on a PhD on mental wellness in the workplace. I don't get it. It's just gone too far.
Mm.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
It's just ludicrous.
Same with
The rap singers can say the N-word, but anybody else, you can't say the N-word. You can't say blackface. Trudeau dressed as blackface how many years ago? Oh, and they got to bring it up. Give me a break. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law dressed up as Aunt Jemima, and I forget the fella. How many years ago at Halloween? They were bang on, and you know what? They won first prize, and it was a big hall party. It's just going too far. Like I say about LGBT, help me out here. It's about this long here.
I lost track after LGBTQ.
Well, I used to know it because, of course, I work.
LGBTQT.
There's a spirit 2 on it now, and there's 2 that are similar. So I'm saying, and I work directly with the transgender, help me out here. And I've said to them, and you made a good comment about this, help me out here. How many letters are we going to have? Are we going to have 26 like the alphabet? When does it stop? And when I first started teaching, I go L, G, B. There were 4 letters. And like a rapping class. Now it's like, how many letters?
I don't even know.
And 2 of them are the same. When I've talked to the transgender and that, I say, can you help me with this? Well, it's kind of the same thing, Janelle. And you know what you said? You were brilliant.
Why don't we just call ourselves human beings?
What a concept.
Why have division and separation and trying to put ourselves in boxes instead of just being human beings? Because you know what's eventually going to happen? We're going to have to add S. We're going to have to add S to the alphabet of sexes. And then what? Now it's all meaningless because now you have every gender, sex, preference in there.
Well, how am I supposed to teach it?
You're going to have to add straight sooner or later because everything is a pendulum. Racism, sexism, I get it. Our ancestors had to really fight for equality, whether it's race or whether it's sexuality. People were prosecuted, murdered because of their sexual preferences. And yeah, the pendulum has begun to swing the other way now, where it's almost like it's fucking wrong to be straight. So it's like, we gotta stop dividing ourselves and stop creating hate towards and division. Why can't you just be comfortable with who you are and not have to put a fucking label on it? Like, labels are the problem with the entire fucking world. Like,
Thank you.
If I had to put a label on myself, I would probably call myself a polyamorous pansexual. But that sounds fucking retarded. I'm just a fucking human being.
What did I say about that word?
Retarded? I'm sorry. Fucking stupid.
Intellectually handicapped.
Yeah, I don't mean.
Or disabled.
I'm
don't use that word anymore.
Partially retarded. Again, that makes just as less sense as the N-word, so you're just a hypocrite.
Well, and I would go into the class every year teaching.
You see how ridiculous it all sounds? It's just words. They don't mean actually fucking anything besides the meaning that you put behind them.
It's like it's a whole power struggle. I'm this, I'm that, I'm.
I could call somebody. I could call somebody a dog, and it can mean a term of endearment, like they're loyal and they're compassionate and they're happy, or I can mean that they're a slave and like I could make any word a bad word. So the only thing that makes a word a bad word is the agreement, this unspoken, ridiculous agreement that we've all put on certain words, and then we get offended by it, which causes more division, more hatred, more fighting.
Like I have to tiptoe around in the classroom and not say the N-word? Are you flipping?
You can't even
seriously?
You can't even call a girl a she anymore or a man a he.
Well, don't get going about
it. Doesn't fucking matter. If I perceive you as a woman and I say she, that shouldn't offend you. When I was a kid, I worked at a old folks home. I had long hair, and the old man would be hitting on me, calling me a cute girl, and I just laugh because I know I'm a fucking man. I don't care what they think I am. It doesn't offend me. I'm not all butthurt because, oh my God, I'm actually a man and you think I'm a woman and I'm really upset about it now and you need to fucking change. No, they don't. They're fucking old. It doesn't matter what they think.
Yeah, but
it only matters what I think about me, because I could be anything I want to be, and I don't have to change anybody else's mind about it.
But some people are so sensitive.
Well, that's the problem.
You're so ignorant.
You're traumatized, and you're trying to get a high off of something that you shouldn't be doing. You're an addict. If you're getting upset about somebody mislabeling you, you're a fucking addict and you need to get help. You need to help yourself. You need to cry through your trauma. You need to either get therapy in some way, or you just need to help yourself, because you could call me a woman right now and it's not gonna hurt me. You could call me straight right now, it's not gonna hurt me. You could call me whatever the fuck you want, and it's not going to hurt me because I know who I am. And if you don't know who you are, yes, you're going to get hurt. Yes, you're going to get offended. Yes, it's going to be painful for you. And that's not the other person's fault. That is your fault, and you need to do something about it.
And what are we supposed to do? Tiptoe around? Like I told you. Like I told you that I had to deal with helicopter parents, right? So I had parents showing up at the door when I was an associate chair. And I'd always say to the students, the parent would be with the student, and I'd look at the student and say, are you 18? Yeah. You don't have to invite your parent in. I don't have to speak to them. Do you want them to join us? And a couple times, yes, because I made it clear to them, if you're 18, I don't need to speak to your parents. And then I had the one fella, never showed up to my class one time. And his mother calls. He came to me and he asked me if he could go. Grandma and Grandpa bought him a trip to Mexico. And could he miss his exams? So I said to him, well, that's really nice. Grandma and Grandpa bought you tickets to Mexico. However, here at NAIT, we don't give holiday leave. In fact, we're doing our best to prepare you for the real world. Well, guess what? Guess who called me? His mother called me. So I thought, okay. So he asked me, Mummy, the helicopter parent, is checking it out with me. So I said the same thing. We are doing our best here to prepare them for the real world. And she said, well, it's not like high school. I said, no, we are post-secondary. We are doing our best to prepare them for the real world. And then I said to her, you know, I don't remember his name. I remember his face visually. And I said, well, you know what? And I said his name. If I saw him in my class, but I don't see him a lot. Silent. Thank you very much. Hang up. Now, today it's scary because they're calling the new parents. Help me with the generations here. Are they millenniums? Yeah. What's my youngest son? Anyways.
Could be anything.
My niece. So they're calling them snowplow parents, which means, oh, don't do this. Don't do this. They're not allowing for creative play. And they're always guiding them. And we were criticized for putting our children in organized sports, right? And I agree with that. Our firstborn was very talented and we kind of got carried away. But we always took the summers off. I'm a farm girl. We played outside all the time. But today, with these snowplow parents, and I forget the generations, it's right here. Help me.
Well, you can't really put what plays. There's parents right now of any.
The Gen Zs and the Millenniums. So the Gen Alphas are the babies, right? Ooh, that's your Sabrina, and that's your Parker. So I apparently totally insulted my niece, who's a grade 1 teacher. And I said to Neil, I cannot go on holidays with my sister anymore because I can't stand the way they are parenting that little girl. We go on holidays. And the father carried her the whole way. I'm like, put him in the stroller and let's go up the mountain. Oh no, princess. Anyways, the problem with snowplow parents, and this is what I've read, is that they're creating children with high anxiety, right? So they're predicting that these children are going to be such...
It's not only that, it's diet too. It's high sugar diets.
No, they're really good with diet and that. In fact, they're over the top with that.
I guess that was my generation.
Well, I didn't feed my kids enough fruit.
We just ate processed foods and sugar.
See, I didn't.
That's all we ate.
I grew up on a farm, but
It's no wonder we had ADD and fucking.
But I've been
anxiety.
criticized by my son's wife. Oh, he doesn't eat fruit. And I put my hand up and I said, well, I'm to blame for that. I didn't feed them enough fruit because she's got to have it. And I'm the bad parent, right? I haven't seen them for how long? Anyways, we're not going to go. But that's what snowplow parents are doing to their children. So they're predicting that there's going to be a high increase at anxiety in children at a very young age because basically they're not allowing for creative play. Yeah. So my psychiatrist, I was telling him all about it, and he said, oh, that's interesting. I said, well, you'll have work, Dr. R, for the next 30 years because the anxiety is going to increase. Mm-hmm. But don't you find that troubling?
Honestly, all of society troubles me.
Because they're not confident like you. Whatever your parents did, they've instilled a confidence in you.
No, they did not. I got
well,
that.
How
on,
do you
I got that on my own.
Got confident?
Being homeless.
Yeah.
I left home
and
when I was
surviving, right?
Yeah. They didn't instill confidence in me. They instilled doubt in me. They told me I could.
That's right.
They told me I couldn't accomplish anything I dreamed of. They told me I had to stay in the lines. They told me I had to be good and not go outside the norm.
But they only knew what
maybe
based on what their parents. And look at your grandfather. Your father only knew what the grandfather instilled in him. But remember when
my grandfather was like pretty rich, and he was a
but what's rich?
Freemason.
When you say rich, what's rich? Because I grew up on a farm.
He had Roman pillars outside of his front doors. That's pretty rich.
But what year was this? Because there are a lot.
Like,
where did he live? In Calgary?
No,
did he have those Roman pillars?
No, he owned a bar in Calgary and then moved to the island to
And
retire.
he wasn't an alcoholic or anything, right?
Not overly.
So he would have made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And then your grandma was the complete opposite, right?
Yeah.
Did he have a lot of women in his life? Did you see that?
No, he had a new wife that he left my grandmother for, and that was.
Oh, okay. Which happens.
I was
right?
young. He died when I was in grade 7 or going into grade 8, like right before I started grade 8.
But he definitely made an impact on you because you remember the pillars, and you remember your grandma because you tell me about her.
Oh yeah, she was my favorite.
She was
person.
a sweet pea.
She was.
And she had horses, and I love horses. You know that. Because that's our goal, is to buy a farm and do all kinds of cool things and have horse therapy, puppy therapy, and all kinds of things.
Human therapy.
And we'll be in business for a long time because the generation's going to be high anxiety. You know, okay, here's a puppy. Just play with a puppy for an hour. Oh, just wipe. Oh, here's a horsey. Pet the horsey. Like I do when I go cycling,
depends.
right?
A lot of the young people I see, they're pretty fucking.
Like, what are you seeing with
smart.
Sabrina? Well, they are bright, but it depends on the parent. And
I haven't seen my daughter since she was 1.
Okay, but that's a year because she's only 2.
She's 3.
Oh, is she 3 now? Because she's the same age as and I won't say my niece's daughter is.
Well, she's almost 3. Almost 3. 3 in December.
Oh, but she's a cutie. And then Parker is what, 8?
9.
I thought you told me he was 8.
No.
Okay. And he looks just like you.
Yeah, haven't seen him for a couple years too.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's in your heart.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you know he's going to be here with you.
Maybe.
No, I believe he will be. Well, there ain't going to be an island. They're going to have to scatter somewhere. And Alberta's the place. Really? And your mom, I wonder if your mom and dad are concerned about this bomb cyclone.
Not sure that I care.
Oh, don't say that. She's for crying out loud. You love your parents. I met your mom. I met all your sisters. Lovely. Your sister that lives here has a little baby Harrison. And so she's so sweet because she followed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's got anxiety, right?
Well, I mean, I told them.
So she
I
was
told
on
them
my
all
phone.
about. I told them all about the island fucking sinking 4 years ago, and nobody listened to me. So, fuck them.
Yeah, but you're the one that's really. Yeah.
Fuck them.
But nobody knows your plan. Remember, I kind of said that to you.
The island sinks.
you
It's
give-
not
you-
my problem. I tried to tell y'all.
You gave me the cue. You just kind of looked at me, and I knew, okay, we're not going there, right? I just backed off, didn't I? But I did say that I said to your mom, he's so bright. I asked him why he didn't go to university. And your mom, you know what she did? She didn't know what to say.
Mhm.
But you left home at 13, right?
Mhm.
So, but they did instill a lot of good things in you.
Oh yeah, totally. Give me a good work ethic.
Yeah, the Costco
That's
man,
about
right?
it.
But your dad didn't do
That's
anything.
about it.
But your father didn't do anything.
Give me a solid set of
different.
morals.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
father didn't do anything differently than the dad in the mine, or my dad was a farmer.
No, and that was
you're
my
gonna-
that was my
and
goal
you were
was to
gonna
be
be the
nothing.
Costco boy.
My goal is to be nothing like them as parents.
But you did. I mean, you settled right in. You did what they wanted. It didn't work out for you because you worked in Costco for 8 years as a tire man.
10 years, so
Was it 10?
almost 11.
Okay.
Maybe
Now, when
11.
you told me that, and when I mean, Neil hasn't even met you, and I told Neil all about you, and I said his father is second in command in Nanaimo, and Neil was kind of like, because you know what Neil was doing for those years was drinking, right? Because he was a hockey player and he became an
Oh,
alcoholic.
my dad was drinking in the early years, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He didn't stop drinking until a few years ago.
Well, and you saw him, or you knew that he was doing coke, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, but you survived,
I did.
even with the Bears.
I did.
Like, you did good.
Hmm.
And you know, I'm proud of you.
Protected divinely.
You're, because you are so independent, and they must see a difference in you, your
I'd be dead
confidence,
if I wasn't.
and but you did stop me when I was just gonna go into the plans, and we ain't going there. It's a secret between him and me, but he's got some phenomenal plans. But first, we got to get you in detox. We got to get you off the booze, and that means if you get off the booze, then I won't be drinking with you anymore.
Darn.
I don't think you'll be able to drink at all because you get to that
No, I
threshold
don't want to.
and you go weird.
I don't want to. It's,
Like,
it's
you go
poison. I don't
weird.
want.
No, I think you're the same as my husband. He's allergic to
I don't
alcohol.
get. Yeah. No.
Because then you go into and I'm like, you go into the sobbing thing, and
No, that's
you
just
did
me.
that once.
That's just me healing.
But then I see it over and over, and that means, okay, we got to get this guy some therapy.
That's just me healing.
Yeah, but that's what you keep saying. But
Well, that's how you heal. You gotta cry.
no, but you were screaming like a wild man on the way home, and that really scared me.
That's because I was on mushrooms and my entire reality was collapsing all around me. It had nothing to do with booze.
How am I collapsing? I'm driving you here. I'm taking care of you. That Ash fella in the bar, I came
Because
back.
this is all
He's
a
like,
wild
Janelle.
hallucination, and I'm
You
just.
know what he said? Janelle, Blaze is having a hard time. And first I thought he said Riley, because I was going to give Riley a ride to Enoch, right? But
Mhm.
Riley was gone. And then I said, was it Riley? He said, no, Blaze. And I said, okay. And then I just took off. I said, thanks. And I took off.
Mhm.
So I went to the back to see where they do coke. You weren't there. And then I went to the front, and there you were. So then I got you out of there. So don't say nobody's not checking in on you, because I
Oh.
seem to be. But next time it happens, if you
God-
ruin my
God-
New Year's Eve, you know what's happening?
God was beside me the whole time.
I'm going to give you the bloody key. I'm going to wrap it around your neck. I'm going to call you at a cab or a Uber, whatever, I'm going to say, take him here. Here's some money. Go! And then I'll continue. Okay, so New Year's Eve, got really good plans. Look at me. You better behave yourself.
Oh,
Otherwise, you're going home. You should be fixed up by then.
I'll be sober by then.
But if you do mushrooms, if you do any of that garbage, you're in the cab, you're out. You're not going to ruin my night again.
Deal.
Especially New Year's Eve. Because I want to go to that Jimmy Buffett thing and then go back to blues. The entertainment here is good. Okay, but I think you'll be fine by then.
I think so too.
Maybe I should let you drive the Jeep and
Sure.
take care of me for a change.
Sounds good.
Could you be the designated driver?
I've done it once
in
before.
your life?
Yeah. I'm usually the DD, the drunk driver, but
Yeah, that's really funny.
yeah.
That's really funny. Yeah.
But
No, we're going to have a good night that night. And then we're going to go to Century. We're going to see Chilliwack and Stampeders and River Cree. Edmonton's a great place. I think you're seeing that too. And Heart's coming in March.
I am accepting it. I'm not seeing it, but I accept it.
Oh, please. What concerts
It's
do
not
they
my-
get in Nanaimo?
I don't give a shit about concerts. I give a shit about trees and mountains. I really don't give a fuck about social.
That's why we got to get a farm, sweetie. And we will. You know, I connected with the realtor this week.
Mm.
But you know, I'll probably find one on my own. I just walk in and, hi, is your land up for sale? Because I really want the one with that barn. Because you know I love barns.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only 12 acres. But then there's that, ooh. And we can't say where it is, right? We can't say where it is.
Right.
Because I'm a human rights activist and we're going to have security. So, all right. So we talked about that. What do you think? Is it time?
I think it's time.
Okay. What's my cue?
I'm Blaze.
No, that's at the end. I'm not finished yet.
Oh,
I
I'm
got to
talking
do
about-
my prayer place. Okay.
I'm talking about ending it.
Okay. But you're supposed to give me the cue.
That's the key.
You're supposed to say, okay, Kelly.
Oh, no, I already said that.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, just to get serious here, we need to put out our prayers for the island people with the bomb cyclone, and also some prayers to Liam Payne, who passed on in the funeral, and he had a 7-year-old son, and just really sad for his mom and dad. I mean, I have 3 sons, 32, 30, and 25. You got a little guy. How old is he?
9.
9. And can you imagine? Yeah. So our prayers are there. And also thinking of Jay Leno, because I'm a Leno fan, he stumbled and bruised up his face. And he's had a few accidents in the last...
Like a year ago?
Well, no. First he had a fire. A few things have happened. He was on his motorcycle. Then there was a fire. And now this has happened. And Jay, I just like to
Somehow
say...
it looks like karma if that's repeated.
I think Jay Leno needs to put on some hockey equipment. Or football equipment. What do you think?
Or repent, maybe. I don't know.
No, you should see his face. It's bruised.
Yeah, should
And then
probably
his-
repent.
And his wife, don't quote me, I think she has Alzheimer's. It's just, yeah, he's just a sweetie pie. So, yeah, it's snowing out there, and what's our favorite song?
Let it snow.
What's our favorite movie?
Let it snow. Elf?
Yeah,
Maybe it's cold outside.
Baby, It's Cold Outside.
What the hell's in this drink? It's a rabies song.
What are you talking about?
No.
Oh, God. A rabies song.
Rapey.
Oh, a rapist song. Oh, yeah.
Little
Oh,
rapey.
there's another thing. Then
Little
John
rapey.
Legend comes out, changes
Not that I
the
think
word.
it should be canceled. It's a beautiful song.
No!
I love it. It should not be canceled, but it is a bit rapey.
Sinatra? No, it's not.
It
and then
super is.
John, oh, he wants
Maybe
you to
I
come
should
in.
go. What's in this drink? Like it's
not.
pretty rapey. rapey.
And have I never had a situation like that? Oh, don't go home, Janelle. Stay.
I've put
Have
women
another
in, I've put
drink.
women in that position. It wasn't
They
rapey.
weren't raping
It wasn't
me.
rapey, but I was definitely uncomfortably coaxing them into having sex with me. Like,
You did that?
yeah, every
Oh,
man has.
God.
Don't play fucking coy with me. Every woman has
It
gone
never
through that.
happened to me.
You've been
And
raped,
I have
haven't
some
you?
story. Never. No drunken rapes, nothing. But I have friends that have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we traveled through Europe, there was, not with me, but
I've never forced myself on any woman, period. I've just been very, very convincing with puppy dog eyes for a very long amount of time. Oh, a too long amount of time.
oh really? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How would you have noticed?
Well, because that's what you do. You give the little wimpy little eyes the first time I met you,
Yeah.
remember?
Maybe
I thought you were one of the unsheltered in Spruce Grove here. And then, sadly, that individual passed on. And then it was you kind of like this. And I remember what I said?
I'm just sweet.
No, you didn't know how to take me.
No.
What did I say to you? Oh, come on. Where are you going? I'll give you a ride. I'm going to Walmart. Do you remember when we first met?
I do.
Tell that
I
story.
do recall.
Yeah.
We're at the bottle depot. You thought I was somebody else. That guy ended up being dead.
Yeah.
He gave me $100, drove me to Walmart.
I didn't give you $100, did I?
I think so.
I thought I gave you $20, and then
I don't remember.
you were traveling across to see Niagara Falls, the eclipse or something. So
Yeah,
I
tried.
thought that was cool,
Yeah, I tried.
but you only made it to Winnipeg.
That's a long fucking walk from Spruce Grove to Winnipeg, let me tell you.
So then we're texting a bit because, of course, I'm
My-
from Winnipeg.
And it was my dog that gave up. My dog was just done. And I was
Oh,
like,
we got to clean this place up so we can get Dave over here.
well, there's a lot of.
So your sister's not buying the dog food and supporting you.
She asked to keep the dog long before I dished the dog on her.
Well, babe, I'm not too sure about their dog, though. It was barking there. It was kind of... What kind of dog do they have? And they got a new baby?
Demon dog.
Oh, I wouldn't... that dog, if I had a little baby, that dog wouldn't be around. But everybody loves Babe.
Yeah.
Okay, so what time are we? I think we did it all. We got snow outside. And, yeah. Hey, that was a good discussion. I'm really proud of you. Except for the rape. I can't imagine my boys doing that.
No, they've done it.
Oh, don't even go there.
No, they've
I
done it.
kicked their ass.
They've done it. It wasn't. I'm not.
I raised my boys.
You know how good I am?
They were hockey players.
You know how good
They
I am?
were, and they had 3 female cousins, and I raised them. Okay,
You know how good I am?
there are going to be girls that are going to sleep with the whole hockey team. Don't be bringing them home to mom. Then there's going to be, and I told them, if you're ever in a position and men are taking advantage of women, like we've got 5 Canadian hockey players right now, and they're in a little bit of trouble. And I told them, if you ever see that, you think of Kimberly, your cousin, who's like a sister. Oh, I said her name. You think of B, the second daughter, and you think of R, the third one. You think about if those were your cousins who are like sisters, what are you going to do? Are you going to watch these pigs go after them? That's how I raised my boys. And the second type of girl, I'd say to them, then there's the second type of gal. And you're going to party hardy with her in the bar, but don't be bringing her home to mama. You'll have a good time with that gal, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have some fun. But does mama want to meet them? No. Now, the gal, the lady, who perhaps mom you can take home and introduce to your mom, is someone who's like your mom. She's a sporty spice. She's going to cycle. She's going to camp with you. She's going to travel. She's got her education. She's going to work with you as a team, someone like your mama. And maybe that particular gal, you'll decide that she's the one that you want to have a baby with. Maybe, maybe not, whatever. And as my oldest son said a few years ago, what's important to me, Mom? You know what the most important thing to me in a partner? And he's 32 and he can pick and choose, believe me, who he wants. And he's got a list. You know what he said?
What's that?
What do you think he said was the most important thing to him? And it warmed my heart.
Nice pair of cans.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
All you've been doing is talking about breasts lately.
I haven't been waiting
Sorry.
2 years.
I spit on. Oh, what did that? Oh, breasts. I remember in junior high, the guys were all, oh, I love Chris. They were into breasts. But don't you think you're a little too mature to be into breasts now?
No, I have.
So breasts are more important.
I have evolved preferences.
Breasts are more important than.
She must have a fantastic personality, a sense of humor,
Yeah.
be intelligent, with a great pair of cans.
Oh, sick.
It's evolved. Before it was just.
Not one of my
Yes.
boys would say that about a woman. You know what they'd say?
Well, you know what? Are they happy?
Well,
Hey.
we're questioning one, but that's okay. We're not gonna.
I've
We're
gone.
not gonna do it your way, Mom.
I've gone
We're
long
gonna get-
enough. I can be picky.
Whatever
I,
you
I want.
go.
I want the whole package.
But you know what my oldest son said? He said, "You know, Mom, what's most important?"
I've waited long
'Cause-
enough.
You know what he said? He said the most important thing: will she fit in with our family? Because we like to play, we like to sing, we like to dance. And I looked at him, and even I was surprised, right? But that's what's important to him. And he's 32. And these young gals that know I have a 32-year-old son that looks like me, has his dad's personality. Woo! Thank goodness. And I asked him, well, what are the three most important things you want in a man? And this one, she looked at me, she had to think about it. And she's working on her master's. She's 25 and she's thinking about it. Well, I'm like, okay, you got to think about this. And I told her my son said it was family. Oh, she said humor. I said, well, we got that. There's no problem with that. Our second boy could be a comedian, right? The one that has my personality. And he is a very funny man. I know he will like you, but I'm concerned because he's got a little bit of a drinking problem that he'll be trying to get you drunk. So.
That won't be an issue.
Because we do like to have a few drinks at Christmas and celebrations, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cool, my son. And remember, his heart was broken by that gal, kind of like you. Well, the second one, you just left her, right? You realized she was not what you wanted. And good for you. Because
No, that's not what happened. God told me to leave her, so I left her.
Yeah, but the first one didn't work out, and you said
She
to
broke
yourself.
my heart. I wanted to kill myself.
No, but she kept you isolated.
I don't care. I
She
wanted
had
to kill
you.
myself.
No, you didn't tell. Yeah, but only because you were on coke.
No.
You weren't happy.
No,
Well,
I
now you're
wasn't
telling me a different story
No,
here.
I wasn't happy, but she left me, and I was miserable, depressed for like 3 years.
Well, she broke your heart, but you said you had a first love before her.
I had several.
Okay, well, let's go there now.
Different generations,
Oh,
different types of love, different extents,
Oh, you make me nervous.
different types.
You were telling me the first time you got drunk was in grade 4, and you had girlfriends all through school. But you said there was another one that was your first love. Because the first love,
Well, I had
You
my
never get over
I
it.
had my elementary school first love. I had my
But there was
I had my
one.
beginning of high school first love. I had my after I dropped out of high school first love. They're all extreme in their own ways. And
no,
they
but you said
all
there
broke
was
my heart.
one that was really, you loved her before you got with the other one that had a, what do you call it? She just isolated you. She definitely has a mental wellness issue because she kept you from all your friends. She didn't have any friends.
Yeah,
And you
maybe.
couldn't even go out.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me that was a good situation.
No, but I loved her. She was my whole life. I spent
Well,
I
you
spent
did.
8 years with her.
Yeah,
you spend
you
8
did.
years with somebody, you leave
That's a
them,
long
or
time.
you get left by them, it crushes you.
But you know what's so sweet?
Doesn't matter how happy you were, or how unhappy you
No,
were.
it does matter how happy you are.
No, if you get your
'Cause you
heart
weren't
broken,
happy.
you get your heart broken. It doesn't matter how unhappy you were before that.
No,
You're gonna be less happy once they leave you and you're alone and you have to start all over again.
But when
That's
Neil,
just human psychology.
But when Neil and I separated for 10 years, and the fellas that I had dated, they all said, you're going to get back with your husband. And you know what? Deep down inside,
Mm-hmm.
I knew I would.
Yeah.
But we didn't know how sick I was. But you started taking cocaine. She would let you out of the house.
Virtually.
And someone who has control issues and mental wellness issues, they isolate you. Like when I was with that abusive fella,
Mhm.
he isolated me. I couldn't talk to men. I couldn't do this. I couldn't go see my family. I couldn't see my girlfriends. They isolate you, abusers. And she abused you, but you were committed to the child. You were with her for 8 years. Don't be beating yourself up.
I'm not beating myself up. I'm just saying it affected me in a negative way.
Well,
It hurt.
what troubles me is, and this is the perfect working on a PhD in mental wellness, she doesn't allow you to see your son. She doesn't allow you to communicate with the son. Like, this is twisted. This is so twisted.
Maybe.
She is a sick puppy.
Honestly, my whole life is fucking sick, and
No, it
everybody
isn't.
that's raised me or been a part of my life has just been a manipulative
Here we go.
lie, and it
Ooh.
really doesn't matter.
Ooh. Okay, you're moving into that threshold. So, what are we going to say today? Huh? What are we supposed to say to sign off here?
I'm Blaze,
I'm Janelle.
and we're Canadian.
And we're
BJ.
Canadian BJ. Peace. Peace. And he's moving to his threshold. I've got to cut him off. Hey, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.